Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. We start our video with a story in which our OP took revenge on his neighbor after he found out that he had badmouthed him. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Ask me for a favor and then slam me. Well, good luck. Got a neighbor across the street. Never dealt with him much until last week. He came over when I was in my garage and told me he was having an ATV delivered and wanted to know if the semi could use my parking lot to pull into and if I'd be kind enough to use my forklift to take it across the street into his garage. Hey man, no problem. Always happy to help. Later that night, I'm on Nextdoor. I don't go on it often, but sometimes I like to see what people are saying, and I see this about my company. Well, I see XYZ still shut down over the pandemic. That's okay. The owner's kind of a butt and sells Chinese junk anyway, LOL. To which I replied, hey, good luck finding a place to pull that semi tomorrow, and good luck getting that pallet to your garage. Also, yes, I am a butt. He never said anything back. I never opened the gate on the parking lot and didn't help move the pallet. I did sit in full view of him as he was forced to unpack the pallet at the end of his driveway and walk it to his garage piece by piece, though. He ordered the ATV from a website. They don't come fully assembled. People would call this karma. I call this consequences. And our second story. Bad Parenting 101 at the tobacco shop. Small town tobacco. Will your customers ever learn? Probably not. I saw these two women just yesterday within 2 to 3 hours of each other. First up is Queenie and her daughter Princess. Princess was your typical spoiled teen, pounds of makeup, eyes constantly glued to her phone, designer clothes, and constant snotty eye-rolling guarantee or your money back. Queenie was her snobby mother, dressed similarly with a snooty attitude to match. Queenie came in with Princess in tow, and the two of them approached me asking about e-hookahs. Think e-cigarette with no nicotine? College kids eat them up, and you need to be 18 plus to buy them. Queenie turns to Princess and asks which one she wants. I can smell the BS a mile away and ask for her ID. Queenie immediately goes on the defense. Oh, it's for me, so you don't need to see her ID. Queenie seriously pointed her nose in the air, looking down on me with a smug look. She's got me now, take that. I shake my head and put the e-hookah back. Ma'am, I'm not an idiot. I was standing right here when you asked Princess what she wanted. What you're doing is illegal. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not going to get a $200 fine over this, so you're going to have to leave. Seriously, I can get a $200 to $500 fine for selling to a minor. This woman had some balls. I'll give her that. All right, then I'll be back later. I'm sure you're not here all day anyway. Out she and Princess went, her poor deprived daughter whining about the big bad employee denying her. I warned my coworker about the woman. We've got her on camera, and she isn't welcome back. Next lady we'll call Country. She was redneck as hell, y'all. She came in with her son, and like Queenie, she done goofed. What the hell do you want? Hurry up, she snapped as her son started looking over the pipes. She asked for 2 packs of brand smokes, and the kid picked out a couple of pipes. Real quick, I just need to see his ID before I sell you guys anything. My customer bullcrap sensors were going insane. I could already feel the rage building up in this woman. Kid turns to me and says he doesn't have an ID, so of course I remove the pipes and cigs from my counter, explaining that I can't sell them anything. Well, those packs are for me, so sell me them, Country demands, attempting to grab them from my hands. Again, I explain that I can't. Your son's obviously underage and I'm on camera. If I sell you these, I can get a huge fine. I'm sorry, you're both going to have to leave. Mount Country blew her top. What the F? So you're telling me I can't go to a effing gas station and buy smokes with my effing kid there? She screamed at the top of her lungs. My tiny store rang with it. I explained that you must be 18 to be in here. It's the law. What she's doing is illegal. I ask her again to leave. That's the stupidest effing thing I've ever heard. At this point, I'm reaching for the phone, telling her to leave or the cops will be called. She must have left the stove on because she sure made for the door in a hurry after I said that. She did make sure to scream, if this is how y'all conduct business, it's a wonder y'all are still open. Y'all gonna go under soon, you dumb effer. I'm happy to call after. We stay in business because we don't sell to minors. We're also the only shop in town, so have fun buying your cigarettes at the gas station. It felt so good to yell that, as petty as it was. We're the cheapest place in town. She'll be back. They always come back. Good for you, standing your ground. No sense getting in trouble or losing your job over people that don't care about rules or morals. And our last story. They're both stuck living together in the same household, waiting for father's inheritance. Now, when I met C-Word Face, hereto known as CF, he was ideal. He was what I thought I needed. I believed I loved him and that the fairy tale was real. We met by random chance, both many hours from our homes, me whilst running away from a situation at home, he while a planned trip abroad. I ended up in Europe within a month, and we married about 10 months later. All good, right? Well, it was, until I started racking up multiple university degrees with honors, and he began to realize that not only was I significantly younger, about 17 years, thinner, a big issue in his mind, not in my mind at all, and according to him, better looking, I was now significantly better educated. He was always a bit insecure, but the degrees seemed to really push him over the edge. While I was waiting for my spousal visa, things were falling apart. We both kind of gave up, but decided to resolve to save our relationship. I moved and found that nothing he'd promised to prepare had happened. The home situation was a mess. We were living with his quite elderly widower father, and he was meant to be taking care of him in the household. None of this was happening. Instead, both CF and his disgusting sister, now known as Ugly F or UF, were essentially living as leeches off their 80-something-year-old father. I tried to make things work, but within a week and a half of me landing, he threw an iPad at my head and punched the wall next to my head while screaming that he could have me deported at will. Okay. Well, fine, I made a promise. I kept trying. It got worse. I took months of emotional abuse, insults, threats, cursing, and everything else. 6 months later, he randomly disappeared for 2 weeks to visit Seattle without mentioning it to me. I left. I started over with nothing much to my name but a job and a bit of money, thousands of kilometers from anyone I knew. He expected me to run home. I didn't falter. I blossomed. About a year later, I met my present partner, who's been the truest and most loyal partner I could have wished for. Truly, if I had to do it all again, I would if I knew my partner would be on the other side. Now for my revenge. I happened to find out that he had a new girlfriend that seemed very serious and noticed she'd mentioned wedding planning on social media. You have to keep tabs on your abusers, especially when your safety's at risk. Now, she's welcome to him. The only issue is, due to draconian divorce laws in my current country, we were not divorced yet. He planned on marrying her in another country. When we met, he told me he'd never been married. I later found out he was indeed divorced. I was willing to bet he'd fed her the same exact lie. So I sent her a message. My suspicions were confirmed. He told her he'd never been married. I was wife number 2. She didn't want to believe it until I sent her a photo of our marriage license as well as a few wedding photos. I did feel really badly about doing that to her because I could tell how hurt she was, but I knew it was better for her to know the truth than to inadvertently marry him the next month in Seattle as they had planned. She had children. She had a violent ex-husband. She and I actually ended the conversation on a positive note with her thanking me and apologizing and explaining why I felt I had to tell her. And then the fallout. My phone started blowing the F up. Unknown number. In the evening. Wonder who that might be. I was out enjoying a lovely dinner with my partner and answered a call on speaker. In came the usual threats to my person and security. Blah, blah, blah. I could only laugh. He didn't know where I was, nor was he getting past my partner. I could finally relax knowing I was safe after months of night terrors. And then, I have lost the love of my life because of you. She's left me and thrown all my things out of her home. People, I lost it. I could not stop laughing. It was poetic. He sent a similar email to my mother, laced with blatant lies about me, as if she didn't know the play-by-play as it was happening, and as if she'd believe a word he had to say anyway. After I got done laughing, I hung up on him and had my number changed. Then I remembered his sister, UF, was living at the same home. UF has a disabled daughter that lives 200 kilometers away that she claims benefits for, including an apartment and money allowances. She then sublets the handicap-accessible apartment to her boyfriend illegally whilst leeching off of her father. She's also a thief, caught on camera literally taking notes out of CF's wallet. CF and UF absolutely despise each other and are only both living there in hopes of driving the other out in order to get the house and his inheritance. Now, if UF got reported to the council for fraud and they did minimal investigation, they'd see she was falsely claiming benefits for an adult daughter who lived far away and had her own benefits, deserved, from another council. She would lose her apartment and possibly face jail time. If she lost her apartment, it was certain she would never leave the father's home. It was CF's worst nightmare. So I made it happen. Besides, how dare UF claim money she isn't entitled to simply due to her being too lazy to work? She was a neglectful mother when she actually was caring for her kid, leaving her kid in a wheelchair with a jam sandwich and running to the pub the moment benefit money came in. Now she was lying and keeping a rare, accessible apartment from someone who truly needed it. That more than justified it. But the thought of both of them being stuck in the same house, fighting all day and night, both too lazy to leave and too stubborn to give up the inheritance they fantasize about, that's a lovely thought to me. What makes it better? Knowing he cried his eyes out over his lost fiancée in that very same house, soaking in his miserable existence. Good for you, OP. Man, just feel bad for their dad, but then again, the apple doesn't fall too far. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.